tourists starting tonight at midnight, 12:01 Friday morning. That is in alignment. The start time is in alignment with the governor's executive order. To be clear, this excludes this order or this intent excludes those that are here for the purpose of work in Brevard County. In addition, effective tonight at midnight, no lodging establishment shall accept reservations until further notice, including extensions to current reservations. And this also includes those that already have reservations, but just have not taken occupancy yet. In addition to that, effective tonight at midnight, 12:01 Friday morning, all hotels, short-term, as has been defined, vacation rentals and other transient rentals to include marinas, RV parks, and timeshares, shall cease renting to tourists for 14 days. This shall not apply to rentals to transitory military personnel, first responders, healthcare workers, construction workers, actively engaged in projects that the county has engaged in formal business. So I know Commissioner Lober is going to give us a little bit more on that, but I think the key point here is that it is our intent to effectively close Brevard County to tourists starting tonight at midnight. We love our tourists that come here throughout the year, and we're not in a critical incident or a critical situation, but right now we are asking those that are planning to come here from a tourist perspective to please refrain from doing so. Do not come to Brevard County. Everyone needs to be in compliance with the governor's order, his executive order, and making sure that they're staying in place and only applying to those that are on essential things. So with that, I'm going to ask Maria Stahl from the Health Department to please come.
Good afternoon, and I just want to update everybody on our current numbers of cases. Currently, we have 48 cases in Brevard County of COVID-19. We have 18 of those cases that were not associated with any sort of travel or with another contact, which again is, as I spoke previously, this is indicative of community spread. We currently have 15 patients in our hospitals, and we have 6 patients currently on ventilators. I want to also, as I said yesterday, to reassure everyone, not everyone that has COVID-19 is critical. The only time you really should be going to the hospital is if you have breathing difficulty, shortness of breath. And lastly, I just wanted to touch on the testing continues in our health department clinics. There is the number 321-454-7141. And that is only for the health department collection sites. That number is to be called for the health department, but not any other collection sites that may be going on. And everyone, please stay at home. That's the most important thing you can do, is stay at home, minimize the time to go out. Even if it's to a grocery store, don't go every day. Try to go once a week and maintain that 6 feet distance. Thank you.
Afternoon, everyone. A couple points. First off, I do want to have one slight correction from what was mentioned earlier in the broadcast. The duration is not 14 days. It's for however long the local state of emergency lasts. It may be 14 days, it may be 21 days, it may be some different period of time altogether. Another thing that we should note is this affects leisure and tourism travel only. This doesn't affect people that are here for medical purposes. It doesn't affect people that are here for work or any other purpose. So if you work for the DOD or you work for NASA or a contractor, or really if you work for anyone and you're here for legitimate work purposes, the expectation will be that you have a note from your employer indicating that you're traveling for the purpose of employment or for work purposes. If you have, let's say for instance, a family member at home who was told to isolate and you don't want to be in the same household as they are, you'll be able to stay in lodging locally here with a physician's note essentially saying why you're here. We're not looking at making things inconvenient for our residents. This is simply an attempt based upon the fact that we have a fraction of the numbers and a fraction even, truly a fraction of the numbers of some of the other areas that have been impacted by this. If you look at South Florida, some of the other counties, even adjacent counties, counties that are right here by us, their numbers, even when you look at the testing, you can say that we don't have enough testing, but the percentage positive that they have oftentimes are quite a bit higher than what we have. So we are under the state average, I believe. I believe we're solidly under the national average for positive returns, positive test results. And we'd like to keep it that way. We don't want to do things that encourage people to travel and to mingle here that don't need to be here until we have a better handle on the crisis of the situation. Another item that we voted on as well, and this will be a recommendation for the policy group, which is convening at 4:30 tonight, is we're closing the spoil islands that are in the rivers to everyone. There's no reason for people to go there and congregate. If you want to go out in your boat and you want to fish, you certainly have every right and every ability to do that, whether you're on a canal, whether you want to use a boat ramp. There's nothing that we're doing at a county level to preclude you from doing that. Whatever is ordered by the executive order that came out of Tallahassee that was amended earlier in the day, that's still in place. If there are restrictions, whether it's to boating or boat ramps from that, that's separate and apart from what we're doing. But the actions that we're taking today go over and above what the executive order set forth. So the executive order essentially serves as a floor for what you're prohibited from doing. And what we've done today is we've expanded that floor so that we discourage in every way that we reasonably can tourists from coming over. There are going to be penalties if people violate it. The penalties could be inclusive of and go all the way up to 60 days in county jail and a $500 fine. So it really is not something to be trifled with. It's my hope and it's my expectation that we will not have anyone arrested on account of this, because folks will do what they need to and be mindful of the impact that their actions have on other individuals. Again, this is not something that any of us want to do. This is something that we feel compelled to do, that we have to do to keep everyone health and safety, keep everyone healthy and happy. If you are alive after the fact, after this is all said and done, which the vast majority of you will be, understand you're welcome to criticize the actions. You're welcome to say that this wasn't the way to go about things, but the point is we need to get you there healthy and alive. So when you're healthy and alive, if you want to vote for different people, vote for different people. If you want to criticize, criticize. But our goal and our job right now is to ensure that you're in the best possible place. So the restrictions that are put in place, they're really very light-handed by and large as the folks that live here, and they're really designed to keep folks from coming in from out of county that would increase the risk of transmission. So with that, I'll turn it over to Colonel Wallace.
Thank you, Commissioner. And thank you for tuning in again as we give these updates. Again, I think it's extremely critical that we continue to communicate with you, our citizens, on the latest that's happening. So just a quick update from Public Safety, Emergency Management Operations Center. We would like to address a little bit about drive-through testing. We are working with our community partners right now, and we hope to have that model tested this weekend to deploy it to the citizens sometime early next week. So keep in touch with us. Our community partner, Sonic Health, is really stepping forward up to bring that capability to the county. So we'll have a drive-through testing capability next week, we hope to, and then have multiple locations throughout the county as next week continues on. So we're really excited about that, and we'll make sure we get that information out to you as that becomes available. So with that, I'd like to turn it back over to Sheriff Ivey.
Thanks, Colonel. So just a couple of points on order. I know some of the questions we've had throughout the week have hinged on the beaches and the boat ramps. That's been a pretty heavy topic that's come in through a lot of our citizens, not only to us, but also to our commissioners. So let me address both of those. This ordinance that's been passed by the county today does not impact beach closures. The parking lots are still closed. The public parking lots are still closed, and the parks on the beach are closed. However, the beaches are still open. As part of the governor's order, one of the things that's in there is essential is exercise. If you want to go out to the beach and exercise, please do so. What we're asking though is don't congregate at the beach. When you go out there, exercise, walk, swim, surf, fish, whatever it is that you're going to do. But at the conclusion of that, please get back to your vehicle and let's make our way back home, so that others that want to take advantage of it can do it without having to worry about social distancing out there because of the volume of people. Boat ramps remain open. I know there are a lot of people that are going not only offshore fishing, but going out in the river fishing. We ask you to practice social distancing at the boat ramps. I know you're coming there with your family or those with you in the car. Get your boat launched, get out, practice social distancing out on the water, don't congregate on the banks. Let's just all work together to get through this. I think if we stay on focus like Brevard County has and continue to do the things we're doing, we will be able to get through this as quickly as possible. Our goal, as we said from the very beginning, was to eradicate this virus as quickly as possible, do it without impacting the rights and freedoms of our citizens here in Brevard County, and also be able to get our economy back on track and be able to get things back to normal here in Brevard County. So I'm going to close out. Actually, we'll take some questions. I'll try and repeat them back so that everybody can hear the questions. So do we have any questions that have come in?
Not really. I think mostly what we're looking at is a clarification on the campgrounds. There was discussion in the earlier about campgrounds.
So the question that came in is a clarification on the campgrounds. Commissioner, you want to have that?
Sure. So the question with respect to the campgrounds, we're treating campgrounds and we intend to continue to treat them similarly to any other type of lodging. So hotels, motels, short-term rentals, whether it's VRBO or Airbnb or otherwise, all of that is going to be treated as consistently as possible. So the restrictions with respect to travel and leisure will also apply to the campgrounds. I know that may be inconvenient for a number of people, but unfortunately it's a step that we have to take in order to keep everyone safe.
All right. Anything else?
That's all I have to say.
All right. So the first one we did was quite extensive and longer, and these are getting a little bit more brief as we're able to get the information to you. Please go to brevardfl.gov. I believe is the site. Is that correct, Gus? brevardfl.gov. At the top, there's an alert bar that will take you straight to the resources and the information on the county's response to COVID-19. So with that, we will close out. Thank you guys for everybody being here, sharing your information. And everybody just please practice the CDC guidelines and know that all of your elected officials, your public safety employees, our healthcare providers, everybody is doing everything we can to eradicate this virus. So please just continue to cater to our businesses and be mindful not to board at the store.